Is there power in names? Can a sound really make you sick? If so, why aren't we weaponizing the music of Nickelback? Stick around and you might just find the answers to these questions on this episode of Unsolved Mysteries. Solved! Welcome back to the podcast, Mystery Solvers. It's another glorious and mysterious Saturday, and that means we have a brand new mystery coming at you hard and fast, like an Olympic track star on Viagra. Did you get it?
It's a sex joke, right?
Yeah, because he took Viagra, so he's hard, and he's fast because he's an Olympic track star.
Oh,
or she.
My brain got caught in between the images, and I was just imagining someone running like...
No, it's a sex joke. Well, it's a penis joke. Anyway, I am your ever illustrious and humble host and PhD in solving unsolved mysteries, Dr. Chad Kimmons. With me, as always, is my co-host and self-proclaimed frozen trivia czar, Dr. Cassandra Cherry.
What?
Cass, how are you now?
I'm good, but frozen trivia czar?
Mm-hmm.
When was this?
I remember you saying that.
When was this?
Well, you didn't. This is my new thing, is I'm just going to say that you are a self-proclaimed something that you've never said.
Oh, okay. I was trying desperately to search through my memory banks, being like, okay, we played Jackbox a couple weeks ago. Was there anything about Frozen in that?
I'm just imagining you're like, I mean, I don't think I've ever said that. I do know everything about Frozen, but I don't think I've ever said that.
I don't know everything about Frozen. I love Idina Menzel, but I know, like...
Or what was it what's his name called her? John Travolta. What was it he called her?
Oh gosh, John Travolta. I don't remember what he called her. I just know that he got very uncomfortably sexual with her.
I don't remember that, but I also didn't watch the Oscars or whatever it was where it happened.
Yeah, they had beef.
Well, anyway.
I don't remember the details, but I remember she was very uncomfortable.
Well, I mean, he would make me uncomfortable too.
That's fair.
Today we're going to talk about something called Havana syndrome.
Havana, na.
Have you ever heard of this?
Not until you told me about it like a minute ago.
Okay. Well, I had never heard of it until today either, honestly. Because I was scrambling for a topic and this popped up.
That's fair.
Well, I guess let's go ahead and dive right on in here.
Yeah.
In December of 2016, there was a CIA officer who checked into the American Embassy health office in Havana.
Okay.
And he was suffering from nausea, headache, and dizziness. A few days later, two more CIA officers reported
You sure it's not
similar-
CII?
It's CIA, the Central Intelligence.
Some. Central
Well.
Intelligence Eye. Just one giant beholder.
2 days later, two more CIA officers reported similar ailments. And by late 2018, there were 26 Americans and 13 Canadians who had experienced nausea, hearing loss, vertigo, nosebleeds, and issues with focusing.
Sounds like me on a good day.
Now, all of these health problems typically came on suddenly. Victim would suddenly begin hearing strange noises that they perceived as coming from like a specific direction. And some of them has experienced it as a pressure or like a vibration in their extremities or like maybe in their chest cavity, or as a sensation that was comparable to driving a car with the window partly rolled down. Like, you know that feeling like when the window's kind of rolled down and it kind of feels like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, and the wind is going
Yeah. And
right by your ear and like blowing your hair all in your face and you have to spit it out of your mouth like,
Well, I wouldn't know about the hair thing, but yeah, like, and you can feel it as well as hear it. That's kind of that's kind of what they were saying they were experiencing.
Yeah, it's really terrible if you've got a perforated eardrum.
Do you?
I mean, I had for a couple months.
Oh. Well, how did that happen?
I'm not entirely sure. I was recording something for a person who was dubbing a a PC version of the Phoenix Wright series,
Mhm.
and my character had a lot of really loud, yelly lines, so I was yelling really loudly, and all of a sudden there was just this pain in my ear, and I was like, what the hell is that? And so I just left it alone. And then like a week or two later, I got a middle ear infection. And I was like, that's weird. And so I tried to do the breathy thing. And then I had air going out of that ear when I had my nose closed. Or, yeah, I think that's how that works.
Okay.
And it's just like, that's not good.
All right. That's definitely not good, but I'm glad you're okay now.
Thanks. I think it's healed. I have really bad tinnitus now.
Don't we all? Well, anyway, the duration of these noises was like 20 to 30, not 20 to 30.
20 to 30.
The noises persisted from anywhere from 20 seconds to 30 minutes.
Okay.
Which is a huge gap. But it always happened while the diplomats were either at their homes or in hotel rooms.
Huh.
And other people nearby, family members or guests in other rooms near them, did not report hearing anything.
Not a thing. Huh.
There was one person who said the noise was high-pitched, and somebody else described it as a beam of sound that was pointed into their room.
Weird.
Yeah, so
I don't think sound works like that.
it probably doesn't, but I mean... and then there were some that said that the noises were closer to like marbles rolling along the floor. Regardless... in all of the cases where they had these symptoms, they heard some strange noise. Some U.S. Embassy individuals have experienced lasting health effects from this, including one who is undisclosed, a diplomat, who has said that they now need a hearing aid.
Oof.
Because of this having happened.
Big oof.
And the State Department declared that the health problems were either the result of an attack or due to exposure to a device that we don't know what it is.
Some sort of sonic blasting ray.
Some sort of beam of sound.
Yeah, it's like the beam of light that caused like the California campfires, man. It's not like we have a word for that. Light coming down from the sky, like lightning.
What?
Anyways. Just in the news recently, the one Congresswoman, Marjorie Greene, believes that space lasers from some sort of satellite gathering solar power missed its relay station and beamed light into like the California wilderness, and that's what caused the campfire way back in the wild.
The wildfires?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure that you weren't actually talking about a campfire, because a campfire and a wildfire are two very different things.
Yeah. No, it's like the wildfire called the campfire.
Yeah,
It's
I've
just like
heard of that. She's
something.
We won't get into it.
We won't.
Anyway, they declared that they were not blaming the Cuban government, but they would not say who was to blame. And affected individuals described symptoms, again, hearing loss, memory loss, nausea, blah, blah, blah. There was speculation centered around some kind of sonic weapon.
Yeah.
And researchers were pointing to infrasound as a possible cause. Now let's back up a little bit. Because
Backing up.
that sounded like your helicopter.
A lot of things sound like my helicopter, let's be real.
What episode was that?
Like last episode, I think?
Was it?
Yeah. Oh, no, it was the Utah monuments.
Yeah. Whatever you said that is now headcanon for helicopters for me. Do you hear that? It sounds like there's a helicopter flying over. That's not what a helicopter sounds like. I know what a helicopter sounds like. That's just someone chopping vegetables very fast. I don't know what the I'm talking about.
I mean, both involve blades, moving at high velocities.
I'm so confused right now. I'm the one who said it, and I'm so confused.
That's okay.
Anyway, in August of 2017, the United States had expelled 2 Cuban diplomats in response to these illnesses.
Okay.
And then in September, the U.S. State Department stated that it was removing all non-essential staff from the U.S. Embassy and warned U.S. citizens not to travel to Cuba.
Mm-hmm.
Now, keep in mind, they said they weren't blaming Cuba. Like, they didn't come out and openly say it's Cuba. But
they were, like, throwing sus on Cuba.
Right. But see, here's the thing. This is the U.S. State Department that said this. Because, true to form, in October 2017, Donald Trump said, quote, "I do believe Cuba's responsible. I do believe that." And went on to say, "And it's a very unusual attack, as you know, but I do believe Cuba is responsible."
Well, Trump believes in a lot of things.
Completely, like, how much time do we got? Because if we really want to...
How much time do you want to dive into this for?
Not at all.
Because technically, I got all day.
I don't, and his presidency's over, so we're going to leave it at that. But
Fair
completely
enough.
contradicted his
He
own
doesn't.
State Department.
He does not deserve to live in our heads rent-free anymore.
Yeah, never did, but yeah. So like, State Department said no, we don't think it's Cuba, and President Trump is like, well, former President Trump is like, no, it's definitely fucking Cuba.
Mm-hmm. So it definitely fucking wasn't.
So then on March 2nd of 2018, the U.S. State Department announced that it was going to continue to staff the embassy in Havana at the minimum level required to perform, quote, core diplomatic and consular functions.
Okay.
Due to concerns about attacks on the staff. Because they do believe that this was some kind of attack. They just don't think it was Cuba.
Right.
The embassy had been operating under ordered departure status since September, but the status was set to expire. So they basically renewed this to make sure that as few people as possible could possibly come under attack.
Yeah, just to keep people safe and all that.
So then, later that month, MRI scans and other tests taken by a chief neurologist in Pittsburgh on an unspecified number of Canadian diplomats showed evidence of brain damage that mirrored the brain damage that mirrored the injuries that some of their American counterparts had faced. So now we've got, like I said, there are Canadians. We've got Canadians that are being attacked as well.
Mm-hmm.
Global Affairs Canada ended family postings to Cuba and withdrew all staff with families. And several of the Canadians who were impacted in 2017 were reported to still be unable to resume their work due to the severity of their ailments. And the fact that as of February 2019, there was no knowledge of a cause for what they called Havana syndrome made it challenging for the RCMP to investigate what was going on.
Yeah.
Now, this whole illness completely befuddled medical experts.
I can imagine.
Because doctors at the University of Pennsylvania examined some of the victims, and they said they had concussion-like symptoms, but they found no signs that they had ever suffered from a concussion.
Huh.
And that's because, again, we still don't know who or what made the victims sick.
Yeah, that and they never hit their heads.
Some people thought maybe it was a new kind of weapon. The CIA claims that it does not know of any weaponry that could cause these symptoms. One theory says that a pair of covert eavesdropping devices that were placed too close to each other by Cuban agents may have inadvertently produced some kind of reaction. Kind of like the feedback that you hear when somebody stands too close to a microphone, like a hot mic.
Oh, yeah. Ew. Bad juju.
But the FBI found no evidence to substantiate that argument either, saying that, apparently ultrasound is above the range of human hearing.
Unless you're a dog person.
So that's not to say that it couldn't have been ultrasound that did that, but since it was accompanied by a sound, the chances are, since we can't hear ultrasound, that wasn't the cause. There were some recordings of the sounds that only added to the confusion, and two scientists who studied these recordings think that they captured the sound of crickets.
Crickets?
Like basically,
tiny crickets with violins?
These people had recordings, but it was basically just crickets that they were recording, is what it sounded like to them. And they said that these sounds are super, super loud. You can hear them from inside a diesel truck going 40 miles an hour along a highway, apparently.
That is pretty loud, yeah.
But they had no idea why the sounds might have led to people getting sick.
Okay. I have an idea about that might be relevant, or like, because there's one thing that has been going around the internet that medical science looks at and says, I don't see any real evidence for it, but it's kind of in the same line of stuff that, like, scientists just don't really investigate because it sounds too, like, woo, like the existence of consciousness and stuff like that. Hard to measure.
Mm-hmm.
But binaural beats. So basically what those are frequencies. Usually you have to listen to them with headphones.
Uh-huh.
And it gives you one frequency in one ear, a different frequency in the other, and when you listen to them with each of them playing in different ears, it creates a third frequency as you process it in your head.
Okay.
And according to the proponents of binaural beats, you can listen to certain frequencies and get different effects out of your body. Like, there are tones that they claim can help you recover your hearing, that can help you repair nerve damage, that can help boost serotonin and concentration and all that. Different ones for different things. It's very much tied up with the New Age metaphysical stuff.
Okay.
I think mostly it is a placebo effect.
Right.
People want these things to happen, and so they listen to it, they fall into a hypnotic, trance, meditative state, and it happens.
Right.
Which, is kinda neat. But also, I can understand certain frequencies causing bad things to happen to you.
Well, yeah.
Because you know when you hear a sound, and it gives you the hurdy brain juice.
I'm gonna need you to clarify what hurdy brain juice is.
You hear a sound and you go, oh, eek, egads, oh no, oop, oof, ow, oh, bad sound, turn off sound, ooh, bad, get away.
Right, like the sound of Trump's voice.
Yes. Except that's not.
This guy's really taking a pounding in this episode.
Yeah, I mean, he deserves it, but not in. He deserves a pounding, but he don't deserve that pounding. Anyway.
We try not to get too political on this podcast, but like I feel like at this point, if you don't know what we're all about,
Trump,
then you haven't been paying attention.
Yeah, honestly.
Like I know we've lost some listeners by saying ACAB and stuff before, and I don't really give a.
I really don't care, honestly. But anyways,
Okay,
what was I? Oh yeah, okay. So you know how in like Phasmophobia, everything's normal. And then you go into the house, and it's got that sort of atmospheric, sort of bass tone that sort of drives up your anxiety artificially, where if that sound wasn't there, you would be just kind of more at ease and more normal. That's kind of how these sort of sounds work. There are certain sounds that when you hear them, your brain goes, mood? Or, ah!
The only sounds in Phasmophobia that make me, that drive up my anxiety are the sounds of footsteps, the sounds of heartbeat, and as the ghost gets close to you.
Oh yeah, I hate that. Ooh, and the breathing in the ear. Ugh.
I haven't experienced that before.
Oh, they like breathing in my ears, and I hate it.
And I've never actually seen a ghost kill me. I've seen, there was one time I watched the hands close over my face as I was running away.
Yeah, that's them killing you.
But usually, if they're hunting me, and I know they're hunting me, I just crouch down, turn off my flashlight, and close my eyes, because I don't want to see it.
See, that didn't help me when I went into the basement last time. It opened the basement door, and it got me. And I was like, no!
Oh, it doesn't help me stay alive, it just helps me stay sane, because then I don't have to see myself getting killed.
That's fair.
Anyway, okay. So, getting back to the topic... The Cuban government vehemently denied that they had any knowledge of this. They basically said that the CIA were lying about these attacks to try to make them look bad, and that the CIA wouldn't offer any kind of documentation that would be helpful to Cuba in assisting with the investigations into these incidents.
Yeah.
Like they wouldn't release they would not the CIA would not release to Cuba any information regarding, the ailments that people were suffering and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, again, I don't know if that's like confirmation that maybe they really did think it was Cuba, or if they were just trying to keep it close to the chest so that there was no chance that some outside force could alter data.
Because someone could send an agent who, looked Cuban or was, a Cuban, double agent or spy or something and send them in, or you never know.
Yeah. Now on to theories. So in a 2018 interview, a man named Douglas H. Smith said the microwaves were considered a main suspect for this.
Microwaves?
Mm-hmm.
Microwaves don't produce sound, do they?
Well, we're getting to that.
Huh. They just heat up my food.
There was a study in 2018 that was published in the Neural Computation journal by Beatrice Alexandra Golomb.
Golomb.
Who rejected the idea that this could have been any kind of sonic attack.
On what basis?
And concluded that the facts were consistent with pulsed radio frequency microwave radiation.
Huh.
Exposure to that as a source of these images. She wrote that, 1, the nature of the noises reported by the diplomats was consistent with sounds caused by pulsed RFMW, which is the radio frequency microwave radiation.
But what, causes that? Is there a bomb? Is there a weapon? Is there a microwave that you just, turn on to, defrost, and if you don't have the door closed, it causes everyone to puke?
I don't know, because that's too much science for me. That gets way too in-depth. I don't know what would cause it. She just said that the noises were consistent with sounds that were caused by the pulsing of RFMW.
Mm-hmm.
She also said that the signs and symptoms reported by the diplomats matched symptoms from other cases of RFMW exposure, problems with sleep, cognition, vision, balance, speech, things like that. Brain swelling.
Mm-hmm.
And then she also said that oxidative stress provides a documented mechanism of RFMW injury compatible with reported signs and symptoms.
Huh. How does one get microwave radiation without sticking their head in a microwave?
Well, there's microwave radiation pretty much everywhere. It's just so small that,
it doesn't really affect us.
Right.
I'm doing a giggle.
You do that. I'm going to keep talking.
Cool.
And then finally, she said that in the past, the U.S. Embassy in Moscow was subject to a microwave attack.
Okay.
Neuroscientist Alan H. Frey, for whom the Frey effect is named, considered that the microwave theory was viable. But other scientists, including well-known physicist Peter Zimmerman and a bioengineer named Kenneth R. Foster, disagreed, saying that the microwave hypothesis was completely implausible.
Why was it completely impossible?
Implausible. I don't know. It doesn't say why.
Weird. Okay, because I'm getting that microwave sources include artificial devices such as circuits, transmission towers. Oh, it's 5G, everybody. Radar, masers, and microwave ovens, as well as natural sources such as the sun and the cosmic microwave background.
Yep.
So we're all in an oven. What was the weapon you said?
That's kind of what that's. A lot of that is that's why the atmosphere exists, is to keep us safe from cosmic radiation.
Yeah. Usually when I think of cosmic radiation, I think of ultraviolet waves because, the sun. But yeah, I suppose microwaves are part of that too.
You said something about a weapon. What?
You had a acronym, and I can't remember what the acronym was.
RFMW?
RFMW.
It just stands for radio frequency microwave radiation.
Okay. Hold on. What is a RMFW weapon? You can buy it online. Russia offers to develop new types of radio frequency weapons. Please don't. This one doesn't make any sense. It's rmfw.com, and I don't know what any of this means. It's just got a list of manufacturers. I mean, there's like an EMP high power electromagnetic weapon that looks like a gigantic frickin' cannon, but that would disrupt all electronic devices, and I don't think that electronic devices were interrupted during those attacks. U.S. military hypersonic weapon system DARPA Raytheon. What?
I don't know. But as recently as just last month, there was a 19-person committee of medical and scientific experts that published a consensus study report on all of this. And that report concluded that a directed pulsed radio frequency energy is actually probably the most plausible mechanism, like, for explaining these cases in people that got that were affected. Like, and they considered a bunch of things, but
yeah.
Another theory is that this was all just basically mass hysteria.
Like, what reason?
It doesn't say why they thought that. It just says that there were some neurosologists.
Nursologists. Hi, I'm here to study the study of nurses.
There were some neurologists that said that this might be evidence of a mass psychogenic illness.
What?
However, the co-lead author of another study, Regina Verma, of the University of Pennsylvania Perelman School of Medicine, said that a completely psychosomatic cause is very unlikely, given the findings that researchers have come up with.
Yeah.
And State Department Medical Director Dr. Charles Rosenfarb testified that the department had completely, well, all but ruled out, but basically completely ruled out mass hysteria as a cause. So.
Yeah, it's like too many people over too long of a period for it to be, and like too separated for it to be like mass hysteria, I think. Because
probably.
Usually if it's like something like mass hysteria, there is a single traumatic event. You've got a lot of people in the same place witnessing the same traumatic event, and someone yells fire in a crowded theater and everyone panics. Like, that's generally how I would be like, mass hysteria, that makes sense. But it's just too spread out.
There was a theory in 2019 by Global Affairs Canada, after studying the exposed Canadian diplomats, that said that clinical imaging and biochemical evidence consistent with their hypothesis that it was basically overexposure to cholinesterase inhibitors, which is a neurotoxic pesticide.
Huh.
And it caused brain injury.
That's real bad.
And the reason they said this is that the embassies and other places in Cuba had been frequently sprayed as an anti-Zika virus mosquito control measure.
Oof.
The study concluded that other possible causes could not be ruled out, just that they thought this was the most likely.
Okay.
And a 2020 National Academies. I need to learn how to read.
I mean, we can always enroll you in remedial classes.
A 2020 National Academy. I keep trying to read it as academics, and it's academies.
Weird.
So, a 2020 National Academy study.
There you go.
Found that it was highly unlikely that it could have been due to pesticides, because there was a lack of evidence of any kind of exposure to these pesticides. There was a lack of any clinical history of this happening. But they said they couldn't rule out the possibility of it, however slight it might be, that it was insecticides, particularly organophosphates. They also said it was highly unlikely that it was any kind of infectious disease.
Yeah. Because
none of them tested positive for any infectious diseases.
That's fair.
So.
As much as I'm on the damn you Monsanto train, if there's not any evidence of the pesticides being the problem, then it's likely not it.
Yeah. This is the big one, I think.
Okay.
So there were several U.S. State Department employees who considered themselves victims, and some senior CIA Russian analysts, as well as some outside scientists that believe that Russia was the most likely culprit for doing this.
Okay.
They've been accused by the U.S. State Department of using directed microwaves in the past, I think is what you were looking at.
Yeah.
Or what you found.
I'm looking up unsuccessfully. I'm just like, what does this weapon look like? Like, what does it do? What does it mean? What is it for?
Because I guess during the Cold War, the U.S. accused Russia of directing a microwave signal at the American embassy in Moscow.
Mm-hmm.
And a 2014 NSA report raised suspicions that Russia used an energy weapon to, quote, bathe a target's living quarters in microwaves, which caused nervous system damage.
Okay.
And the targets of those events included undercover CIA agents who were working on ways to counter Russian. Oh, wait, no. The targets of the events that we're talking about. Sorry. So, some of the targets in these events that we've been talking about were undercover CIA agents who were working on a way to counter Russian covert operations.
Interesting.
So they think that Russia did this to debilitate them so that they couldn't, counter their covert operations.
Valid. It's like, okay. I know how we can't get caught with this. Let's try the new toy we built, boys. And
We'll never get caught if they're dead.
yeah, honestly, it's just like Among Us. You can't get caught if the one sussing us is dead.
There were also some U.S. diplomats that were stationed in China that this happened to in 2018. And they were trying to increase cooperation with those countries.
Okay.
So analysts believe that Russia was trying to basically just f*** everything up. So, and that's the last thing. So there's all the facts.
Yeah, that's the case laid down as it stands before us.
And it, to this day, even though there are some where they're like, yeah, it was probably this, we still don't know for certain who the culprit was or what caused all this. There's been no definitive answer yet. So, what are you thinking?
All right. So, the Russia angle seems interesting. I wouldn't put it past them, TBH. And, it's not uncommon for that kind of stuff to go on, I think, especially when we're trying not to go into open war with each other, and we try to do stuff to f*** with each other without, coming out and saying, oh, hey, we're f***ing with each other.
Right. And we've seen that they're not above attacking people.
Yeah.
Because, Putin denied it, but that attack on the...
Alex Navalny?
Former... Yeah, in Britain.
Yeah, that was, really brazen.
100% it was Russia. Yeah, they denied that they did it, but it was 100% Russia.
We all know.
So, nobody is disillusioned about this. So, they've proven that they're not above attacking people to get their way.
Yeah, especially not on other countries' sovereign ground.
Yes.
And another thing, potentially, that it could be, what year did you say this happened again in?
They were exposed in 2016, and the cases first started coming up in 2017.
Okay.
But there were cases as late as 2018 as well.
Okay, so
those were mostly the Canadian ones.
Yeah, mostly the Canadian ones. Did you say that the incidents kept happening after they limited access from Cuban people to the emissary?
I don't think so.
No? It didn't stop?
But, no. There weren't any more.
Okay. So...
And I kind of get where you're going with this, but that doesn't prove anything, I don't feel like.
Yeah, probably not, but just a thing that I came upon while I was trying to find the stuff about the microwave weapons. Raytheon DARPA complete key design review for new hypersonic weapon circa July 2019.
Okay.
The U.S. military will use hypersonic weapons to engage from larger ranges with shorter response times and with greater effectiveness than current weapon systems via intelligent aerospace.
Okay.
So, that's just the headline, and I haven't gotten the chance to read through the entire article, so if you want to read through that, check it out. But considering the timeline and the fact that those kind of weapons need to be tested, and also considering some of the CIA's track record for human experimentation on U.S. citizens with, because it's an open secret that the CIA experimented with mind control stuff and with like various drugs to control people's like psychology and everything. And also there was this experimentation they did with syphilis in certain black populations that was terrible. But the U.S. military is not above using its own civilians for target practice. And so another possibility is maybe they were testing out this hypersonic weapon on our own people, on another country's soil, technically. Like,
Right.
That way they could be like, oh, well, it clearly wasn't us. It must have been someone else. It was not in the U.S. I mean, we don't want to start an incident with Cuba, so it couldn't be Cuba, but they never actually ever found who was actually doing it. And if it's something that severe, you would imagine they would.
So are you positing that the United States did this to their own people?
Possibly.
Okay.
Like, I will not put it past higher levels of the military, just based off of what I know of certain experiments that have gone on in the past.
This is going to be another episode, guys, where if we don't have an episode next week, the government got us. People
have a lot of confidence in their government when it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna throw out this theory that maybe the government did something shady. Well, if we're no longer around, the government got us. That speaks well.
Well, and what I find so funny about this, about people who are like, well, if I disappear, the government got me because I'm telling the truth. They're not going to come after you. You sound fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So even if it's true, they're just going to let you spew your crazy bullshit. Because then when, whatever it is they're actually doing comes to light, it's going to seem super fucking tame compared to what you were saying.
I mean, literally. I mean, they're putting chemicals in the water to turn the frogs gay. And all that jazz.
Actually... Like, that has been proven to be true.
Actually?
That did happen.
Alex Jones was right?
Yes.
What?
I mean, he's still insane.
Yes.
But that actually did happen.
What? You're kidding me.
And, like, it wasn't like they were trying to turn frogs gay, but it did. Whatever chemicals were being dumped was actually causing frogs to become homosexual.
That is hilarious. Oh my god.
Yeah. Yep.
That's...
It wasn't like a big cover-up or anything. It's just because it came from Alex Jones, everybody assumes that it didn't happen.
Yeah, because Alex Jones is fucking nuts.
Which is funny because he's really not. It's a persona that he puts on to get, to make money.
Well, he should stop.
Well, I mean, look at Ben Shapiro.
Oh.
Ben Shapiro is actually very intelligent and used to be very, rational.
But he's such a little
Once he realized that by continuing with this persona that he would become more famous and make more money, he kept doing it.
That seems to happen to a lot of people who go off the deep end.
Yeah, and I don't even think it's a case of, them starting to believe their own bullshit. I think they just keep doing it because they know it's profitable.
You couldn't pay me to go that crazy. I would throw up. Just in the middle of one of the rants, my face would break and I'd just go, what? All over stage.
Yeah, so there's a Jewish spirit.
Yeah.
There's a Jewish spirit.
Every time you're anti-Semitic, just...
There's a space lab.
Yeah, just like this fairy ghost comes and punches you in your solar plexus.
There's a Jewish space lab. Sorry, folks, having a little bit of trouble.
Oh, I wish that would happen, honestly.
I saw a TikTok the other day that was this woman, and she's like, I have to come to terms with the fact that I am attracted to... I am attracted to... Finally, she's like, I find males of the human species to be attractive.
Bless her heart. Oh, no.
Anyway, so is that what you're going with? You're going with our own government did it to these people to test a weapon?
It's a possibility. Let's say that. But I'm also like 100% on the Russia could have done it. I mean, I wouldn't put it past them either.
See, I'm going to say it was both.
Oh, both at the same time, testing their own versions of the same weapon?
I think the U.S. did it to the Canadians after Russia did it to the U.S.
Uh-huh.
Because they were like, well, we've f***ed our own people way too much here. We need to try something else.
We need to try targeting another nationality here.
Yeah. And the Canadians were the only ones around, so they were like, all right, let's try it on them.
And they couldn't fire on the Cubans, because then the Cubans would start pointing fingers at us.
Right.
It's like how you don't throw sus on someone who has caught you killing someone in Among Us. You deflect to a third party.
Oh, it always works for me.
Oh, does it?
I'll kill in front of somebody and then report and be like, so why'd you kill that person? I just watched you do it. And then people be sus, and I'll be like, no, I came around a corner. I don't think they knew I was standing there. And I came around a corner and watched them kill that person.
Yeah, it's all a matter of like getting your voice to be like pretty even and being like, you inject that certainty into it like a syringe.
So I mean that's what I'm going with. I think it was Russia and the U.S.
All right, I'm down with that. Don't trust the government.
And again, if we disappear,
you know who to call or not call.
I mean, yeah. You know what happened if we disappear. We uncovered it, and we've been Josh Hartnetted, which is gone, disappeared, never to be seen again.
Catch me Edward Snowdening out of the country.
So, yeah, I guess there you have it, folks. It's another mystery in the books. We solved it because we're just smarter than scientists with high-level degrees and the like, I guess.
Oh, yeah, well, we have high-level degrees in mystery solving, obviously. This is our specialty.
That's the kind of education you can expect from a esteemed university like Always Right University.
Exactly.
So,
when you study at Always Right University, you are always right.
Right, yes, correct. ASU.
Yes.
As always, if you have a mystery that you'd like us to solve here on the podcast, you can send an email to us at mysteriessolvedpodcast, all one word, @gmail.com. You can also find us on Twitter at UMS_podcast, on Facebook at Unsolved Mysteries Solved, the Discord server, the Facebook group. We've got a YouTube. You know the drill by now.
Oh, yeah.
And if you like the show, tell everyone you know about us.
Mm-hmm. Your cat, your dog, your friends, your family, in that order.
Yeah, I mean, our demographic for cats is kind of low. We need to boost that one. So. Yeah,
we need to increase our volume of cat watchers
I always make my cats listen to the episodes after they're up. Put headphones on their heads and everything.
Yeah, they kind of like shake their heads and like scratch at it with their back paw, trying to get it off. But it's educational for them.
I tape that sucker down so they can't stop listening. By the way, please don't come after me. I don't f***ing do that, obviously.
Yeah, obviously we're joking, PETA.
But yeah, tell everybody you know about us, because word of mouth is how we grow mostly. But you can also head over to iTunes and leave us a review and a rating. As usual, anything less than 5 stars and you're dead to me.
If you question us, you will be put down.
Yep, that's just how it is.
Yeah, faster than the government.
You thought the government made people disappear quick? You don't know shit.
Nope.
Also, I would like to say, whoever keeps messaging us on Twitter and telling us that the Zodiac Killer was a cop, I don't think you understand what this podcast is.
Wait, what? I haven't seen these tweets.
No, it's DMs.
Oh, they're getting up all in our DMs being like, hey, you need to solve the Zodiac Killer. He's really a police
because
officer.
we did one about the Zodiac Killer, and I don't remember what our solution was.
That was a while back.
Because that was me and Colt.
I think it was you and Colt.
It was either me and Colt or me and a guest. I can't remember. And we said something outlandish, and there's these 3 people who have messaged it saying that it was a cop named, I think, Ed Rutherford, and I just, please stop.
I'm surprised you haven't been getting messages saying it was Ted Cruz all along.
Anyway, yeah, so until next week, be safe and question everything except for us.
Naturally.
And we'll see you right back here with a new episode. Oh, by the way, the new bonus episode should be out Tuesday.
Yay!
Should be up on the Patreon.
Look forward to that.
And remember, Patreon, like for February and March, we are suspending payments in case you want to check that out. So, yeah, we'll be back here with a brand new episode next week, I guess. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Shut up, guys. This is why I don't do these things in person.